Everybody has biases. Everybody has things that trigger them. Now, for me, if you've noticed my media takes, okay, I have very good opinions on basically everything. But I do have some biases against Marvel. I'm willing to acknowledge that. And the entirety of Japan. What did Japan do to you? They made a really good medium and then they ruined it, okay? Have you ever tried watching anime? My God, what an experience. Absolutely destructive to the soul. Just obliterates you from like top to bottom. Horrible, horrible stuff right there. Um, I've said, who was the person who got canceled for saying this? It's the guy who made Fez. That really arrogant prick who was right this one time. What the fuck was his name? The guy who made the game Fez. Phil Fish, yeah. Phil Fish once went to a gaming convention, I think, or some speaking panel. And he went up there and got the mic, and he said that, like, something like, the Japanese gaming industry sucks. And honest to God, man, the problem is that a lot of the best stuff that we get from Japan, which has a vibrant and large video game industry, is the good stuff that is bothered to be ported over. But there are some really bad trends in the totality of Japanese gaming media that you can see pretty clearly when you look past, like, the obvious good ones. You know, Nintendo I mean, obviously there are amazing games that are made from Japan, such as, okay, yeah, fine, okay, a fuck ton of the shit that comes out of Japan is incredibly cringy, like gacha game shit, you know? I think he said the Japanese indie games were bad. Well, that's like 95% of games these days, right? A ton of them play into like a series of really hardcore, like animeified tropes that are specifically designed to appeal to virgins who will never feel the breath of a living woman touch the back of their ear. Yeah, poor minority representation. To be clear, Japanese media is pretty fucking racist and misogynistic, okay? We don't, like, touch on that much because, I don't know, we don't see it as much as we do. A lot of the stuff that we praise that comes from Japan is, like, big major companies that have a lot of foreign, like, market share, like Nintendo, for example. But even Nintendo fucks up. Didn't they do that, like, the Wii U simulator person house build thing that was supposed to compete with, like, Animal Crossing? And, like, they wouldn't let gay couples get together, so, like, anyone could get with anyone else, but if it was, like, if they were two, like, men, they couldn't get together like that or something. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? This was a while ago. Was it Tamagotchi Life? Tamagotchi Life, yeah. It was a DS game, yeah. So it's some stuff like that. 3DS game, okay, yeah, 3. But it had, like, the little Wii characters, you know, like, the little stuff like that. And, man, I'm gonna talk about it. We're going to my anime list, boys. We're doing it. It's happening. It's happening live. All right, what's seasonal anime? Let's go. Okay, there are some serious fucking problems. Some very big problems, okay? With the anime industry. And it's pretty holistic, too. All right? Are we shit-talking anime again? We are shit-talking anime at the moment. Now, I want to speak, like, really quickly on this. All right, I have not seen all these shows. I am not Mother's Basement. I do not know everything about everything. There's no way that I can individually evaluate the quality of all these shows on my own. And by the way, many anime are good, actually. Every season, there's liable to be at least a couple anime that are legitimately good, that stand on their own as good pieces of art that are worth watching. Uh, if you look into any medium, a lot of what you see is going to be bad. What bothers me more about anime is the ways in which the bad things are bad, you know? If I were to choose, like, how do I put this, okay? You know how there are a bunch of adult animated Western shows that are all trying to be Family Guy and they're all horrible? Like, they all have the same basic art style, and they all try the same basic, like, shock comedy, and they're all ugly and horrible, and every time a new one gets announced, everyone on Twitter ratios them, like, stuff like that. And there have been some good ones, you know, and now they're doing it with Rick and Morty, too. They're trying to hit, like, those same vibes. Um, and some of them are good, okay, like, they're not all horrible, but on the whole, it's probably a pretty destructive trend. Unfortunately, that's, like, 90% of modern anime. It's not just isekai, but the isekai shit in particular has overcome and overwhelmed the entire anime genre to a point that, like, it's drowning. The whole medium is drowning. The problem that I have with anime is mostly that, like, the ways in which anime gets bad is so much worse, you know? Like, when I see, like, a bad Family Guy ripoff, what makes it bad? It's probably, like, casually problematic, you know? Like, there's probably, like, some racism and sexism and stuff, and it's just, like, not funny, you know? But when I hear about or watch a bad anime, it's for pedophiles. Now, I consider that to be a much higher tier of bad, in my personal opinion, okay? When it comes to, like what how am I for what am I canceling this piece of media, you know? I've got like Family Guy ripoff, or I've got the designers of this piece of media deliberately engaged in character designs meant to appeal to pedophiles. That latter one to me, that's not good. That's not good. Like Dragon Maid, dude. I got problems with Dragon Maid. It's a cute show. There's a whole fucking character dynamic in Dragon Maid that's literally like, what if big titty mommy sexually harasses 6-year-old boy? And that's it. That's the whole character dynamic. That's the whole goddamn fucking thing. Seriously. And I'm only talking about this. That's not to mention the other shit, like the sexism. God, there's so much sexism. And it's the creepiest shit, too, you know? It's the creepiest fucking sexism. Like, all this school uniform, like, isekai, high school battle anime, 15-year-old girl bullshit. The main consumers of anime, by the way, are not teenagers. It's mostly dudes my age. So this isn't an attempt to appeal to people in their own age group. This isn't like Steven Universe or whatever, where like people are watching Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network and like they have to appeal to all ages for that, okay? This is not all ages anime. It's made mostly for people my age. The fixation on young girls in high school is definitely kind of fucking sus, you know? I don't even know how much of this I can scroll through because I have no idea how much of this like lolly shit is going to be on my screen that people will screen cap and then later post on Twitter saying, haha, look, Vaush likes lolly shit, when I'm out here literally criticizing it. I have no idea. And I don't know how much of these are sus. I don't know if there's a little girl in one of the posters of these shows, if it's like a creepy as fuck anime or not. Odds are it is. The math is in favor of it being creepy. It could be that it's not. Is Love Live Superstar creepy? I know people like that. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I genuinely do not. You know? Is it creepy? Well, then there we go. Okay, congratulations. We figured out the whole we solved the mystery. Some people are saying it's not creepy. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, oh, then there's TV continuing. One Piece, which will never die. Boku no Hero Academia, which should die. Boruto, which should die. 5.86 on the rating. My God, how legends fall. Holy shit. Jesus, fuck. Imagine following one of the most legendary anime properties in existence up with this and not managing to at least break a 6. Christ. I've heard Revengers is good. I've never seen it. Fumetsu no Anatae. This shit, super good, by the way. This is actually super fucking good. This is one of those things. I haven't seen any of the second season, so maybe it gets creepy. Again, I don't know. But this is one of those things I'd say this is like actual piece of art, totally worth watching. Very sad. Very, very sad. It's sad, by the way. It's very sad, okay? Super sad. What else here? Shaman King. I don't know. I can only follow so much of this stuff. I've heard Kingdom's okay. I don't know. What about Redo of Healer? Do not get me started on Redo of Healer. Look, I don't want to do this like point by point or anything like that. It's just that like a lot of the tropes that you see in anime are so bad and they're so very, very, very few anime are like original pieces of art created by creative people, okay? Usually there's like this whole really cynical industry that's like so weird with how anime gets produced. Like, here's what happens over here in the West for a lot of the high production Western animations, especially all ages stuff, okay? So I'm talking right now about Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Star versus the Forces of Evil, Owl House, Amphibia, shit like that. Amphibia, right? Amphibious? It's Amphibia, right? That's what it's called? Amphibia? Yeah. Stuff like that, okay? Do you know how these shows tend to work? Here's how these shows tend to work. They're not based on a book or whatever. Usually, one of these studios will hire a creative and talented, like, young animation director or like creative lead, and they'll build the project around the visions of that creative lead, you know? Like, the lead of these animations, they're inextricable from the people who from the actual shows that came out. Alex Hirsch is synonymous with Gravity Falls, okay? Rebecca Sugar, synonymous with Steven Universe, you know? I'm simplifying a lot, but I think that this is for the most part like cool, you know? Because I think doing that means you have like a consistent artistic vision to get behind. You know what I mean? I kind of like that. I think that's cool. I think it's nice to have like some central thing everything orbits around rather than it being all like committee designed. But a lot of anime doesn't go through that process. Original anime are rare. Original anime is not that common compared to the majority of the stuff that comes out. The majority of anime is adapted either from light novels or from manga. Now, manga adaptations have their own problems because manga, since they're read, mean that the pacing is different and the way dialogue is handled is different, and usually it fumbles a bit in adaptation, but there are really good manga adaptations. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is an almost perfect manga adaptation. It's like a direct manga adaptation, and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of the best anime to ever been made. Amazing. Fantastic. Great. Perfect. Okay? Not going to complain. There are plenty of others. Mob Psycho 100. One Punch Man as well. Directly adapted from manga with heavy inspiration from the original work. The art in the original informs the art of the creation, which is why One Punch Man the anime looks like One Punch Man the manga, which is also why Mob Psycho the anime looks like Mob Psycho the manga, which is like super cool. That's why Mob Psycho the anime has such a distinctive style, because the mangaka can barely draw. Joking a little bit. But it looks good. It's an amazing anime. It's one of my favorite. It's really, really good. Yes, I've seen the Castlevania anime, okay? Likewise with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, literally, like the manga, the art looks the same. So anyway, that's all great, phenomenal, okay? The problem is the light novel adaptation industry is the most cynical, heartless bullshit that I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm only, like, glimpsing this from, like, a distance, okay? There are people who know a trillion times as much about this as I do, okay? But, like, as I understand it, light novels are exactly what they sound like. They're light novels. Basically, they're books for people who don't have the attention span to read full books, so they read light novels. Like here, this is a light. Hold on, light novel. What do you want? No game, no life. Sure, just give me something. Okay, this is a light novel. Okay, it's like, oh God, no game, no life. Okay, I'm just gonna throw a character design up on the screen, and I'm going to tell you if a culture that's doing okay produced this. One of the most well-known light novel series, by the way. Seriously. If they allow Genshin Impact on Twitch, then I'll probably not get banned for that. Yeah, that's third image search, by the way, when you look up no game, no life light novel, okay? That's not on me. Anyway, light novels are like, I don't know, I guess they're small books for pedophiles. Anyway, the problem is that the light novel industry is basically like the manga industry, except the people doing it can't draw, so they just kind of write it out. And there's this like massive meta industry in Japan for writing light novels quickly to try to catch up to whatever trend is happening right now, and then quickly try to crank out an anime adaptation based on the popularity of that light novel. So the light novels are basically like rapid firing out, like as many as they can, and whatever gets popular, the anime studios will slurp up. And it's like a really fast process because light novels can be made quickly, and the popularity of the light novel is a good way of preempting the popularity of the anime, which is much more expensive to make. The problem is that it's the most cynical and soulless fucking industry in the universe, and it's why everything is isekai right now. Guys, how many isekai anime are light novel adaptations? The answer is like a ton of them. A ton of them. Because isekai became popular, so now all the light novel like factory workers start like hardcore cranking out as many light novel adaptations as they can, and then they get satired upon by the next wave of light novel adaptations of isekai that are like more self-aware. So you have stuff like Konosuba, which is admittedly like fairly funny sometimes, but still very creepy. And then you have other shit that makes fun of the earlier shit, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on forever and ever. And the anime industry will just like slurp up whatever is the most. Yeah. Have you watched the Asterisk War Sucks series? Yes, it's amazing. And what's her name now? I can't even say her old name because it's Mr. I forget. What's her name? Beatrice? Beatrice. Beatrix. Okay. Her videos on those. Spectacular stuff. Amazing stuff. Have you watched Kill la Kill? Yeah, I'm a fan. That's an original anime, by the way. It's not adapted from anything. Fooly Cooly as well. Original. not adapted. John Cena's favorite anime is Fist of the North Star. Good, it should be. Hold on. From Hatsume, let's read it. Vaush, how much experience do you have with media criticism? Uh-oh. As someone who's studying to become a media academic, sometimes it feels like you don't really know what you're talking about, but you talk about it with such conviction that it's frustrating from the perspective of somebody that works with it. First of all, I don't think you have to have a degree to critique media that you've watched, you know? And second of all, in this case, I think that the criticisms that I'm speaking right now are echoed by a lot of people who know more about the anime industry than me. You guys think I'm alone on this one? I'm not totally ignorant. I've watched plenty of like anime, like industry critiques from, of course, I don't know everything about it. I'm not pretending to, but I feel like on this regard, I'm fairly on the nose. And I hate isekai. I really do hate isekai. I do. I do. It's not that I have a problem with the premise of isekai. I have a problem with the way isekai is handled, because they're all exactly the same goddamn thing, okay? A man who is worthless in his real day-to-day life gets thrust into a situation where his video game expertise makes him a god king in another world where all the women are inexplicably attracted to him in spite of his lack of a personality. It's every bad writing trope, like, thrown in together. Everything. It's like everything I hated about everything in every piece of media thrown together at all points in time. Yeah, and of course all the girls are like 12 years old. Yeah, obviously, of course. And there's so much creepy shit happens all the time, man. It's always something or other. It's like the fetishization of like slavery and they're all, and you know, no. I'm not even going to talk about why it's problematic. The main issue with all these is that they're just fucking bad. The light novels and the anime that take from them are just bad. They have bad characters. They're uninteresting, stiffly written, and clearly exist only to fill archetypes that the writers know readers get into. They're just trying to make the archetype. They don't think of characters. They think of archetypes first and then write characters around them. We need a yandere character. We need a tsundere character. We need the big mommy milkies. And this is literally what they do. They will write characters around the tropes they know people gravitate towards. And that's why, and the fans love this, because the fans play into this with their fucking waifu wars. The fans deserve this horrible shit, this degenerate fucking industry, because the fans will enable it by comparing everyone who fits into these obvious tropes and battle royale them and give all of these anime more attention. People will watch anime because they like the waifus. What the fuck? In what other medium does this take place? Oh yeah, dude, you know, I just binged the entirety of like The Wire because like the girl that shows up in season 2, episode 3 through 4 was like really hot. This doesn't happen anywhere else. Marvel, I don't even think this happens in Marvel. Do people do, like, people are like, what's your favorite superhero waifu? Mine's Captain Marvel, and then they go and watch Captain Marvel because they thought her haircut was hot. I don't think this happens in other mediums the way this happens in anime. I think this is a particular issue. You know, this is mostly like a thing. It happens in bad young adult fiction? Yeah, I guess, but that's not a whole industry medium in the same way. That's like a subcategory, like young adult. I don't think it happens as much. I don't think it happens as much. No, I know it's a whole industry, but it's like a sub-industry because it targets a specific age group rather than anime, which is like the whole fucking thing. And even then, does it happen with young adult fiction that much? I feel like even if you go into the absolute dregs of young adult stuff, like Riverdale or whatever, I don't know if it happens in the same way, where people will, like, collect online libraries of dozens and dozens of, like, IRL waifus to battle it out with. Yes, it does. Okay, you know what? Fine, maybe it's just as bad. You know what? Fine, maybe it's just as bad. Shipping wars, Vaush, my god. Wait, I'm talking about like getting into series and watching things because you saw the waifu being prompted on like a forum or something. I'm not talking about people doing shipping wars. Shipping wars isn't what I'm talking about. That's a whole different thing. Shipping wars happens everywhere. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. But you know what? If the young adult stuff happens just the same, okay, whatever. Chainsaw Man will be the best anime in 2021/2022. Dude, Chainsaw Man depresses the fuck out of me. You know why? Because there are so many cool things in Chainsaw Man, and all people post about is the fucking girls. That's all they post about. That's it. You construct an entire fucking artistic masterpiece. Maybe not, it's good. And then all people do is talk about and post the 3 or 4 girls that people lock onto. It's the same fucking girls. You have the hot controlling redhead in the suit. You have the nervous, anxiety-ridden girl who somehow survives to the end. You have the pink-haired demon girl, and you have the bomb girl. And people don't even read it, and they just like the women. Are women that great? Is that worth it? Women? That's it. Like all art and medium. You're just like, oh, women. You coomers. You don't even like them as characters. You like their characters as an aesthetic component to your masturbation fantasies. Oh, fucking, what is her name? I'm too mad to even remember. Makima? Makima, oh, her character was cool. I like the way it informs my masturbation fantasies. Oh, Riz? I liked Riz's character. I like the way it informs my masturbation fantasies. Power? Oh, I loved Power's character arc. I forgot about it, of course, but I liked it at the time. The only thing I remember is her cute, bubbly personality, which I can masturbate to. Why are you like this? Guys, I jerk off too. I also think women are attractive. But why the fuck do people take this art and you grind it down? I see this even done with Fooly Cooly. Fooly Cooly is not about how girls are hot. Fooly Cooly is about how girls are scary. But all you do is you watch it and you're like, oh my god, I wish I could be sexually abused by an adult alien with superpowers when I'm a young boy. That's not the point! That's not the fucking point. You're ruining the goddamn medium and corrupting discourse on everything because you're incapable of analyzing any art beyond the degenerate virginal fucking desires that you hyperfixate on. Evangelion is the best example of this. What discourse do you see done about Evangelion? Evangelion, one of the most well-known anime ever made. Evangelion, artistic masterpiece, known for decades. Evangelion, you know, a legend in the genre that informed people's emotional development for years afterwards. Do we talk about this? No. What do people know about Evangelion? That it's depressing and that there are 3 girls in it. That's it. What do we know about Evangelion? The 3 girls. That's it. That's the only thing people bother to remember about Evangelion. When I think about Evangelion, I don't fucking think about the girls. I think about Evangelion. I think about the totality of the art, the masterpiece, the well-paced, well-crafted story meant to be representative of the ways in which human beings simultaneously desire and reject intimacy from one another. The girls, all the characters, are just avatars for elements of our personality that clash in an effort for us to find happiness with each other. They're not waifus. He made fun of this in the 25th episode. He literally made fun of this. There was a 5-minute segment where they pretended that Evangelion was a fucking high school anime. Remember? Rei ran into Shinji while having toast in her mouth. Remember? Have you seen episodes 25 and 26? No, I bet most of you haven't. You've seen the fucking anime girls. You saw the anime girls, 2 of which, by the way, are 14. Take yourself to jail. He literally made fun of this. The idea that you can boil everything Evangelion is down to some facile, vapid, personality-driven anime slice of life bullshit. So people have to enjoy media in only the way you think is good? Yes. And you may never enjoy this stream again. Correct. You've gotten it. You got the point. I like how my point is, like, appreciate media beyond the masturbation, and this guy, like, gets offended, you know? He's like, well, what if the only way in which I want to engage with artistic masterpieces is by hypersexualizing the underage girls and forgetting about the story elements? Like, I mean, well, being banned from my chat won't stop you from doing that, man. Hey, the whole fucking anime industry is catering to you right now. 90% of the shit that comes out is exclusively for you, my man, because they do not give a fuck about anything in those goddamn shows except for the characters, female character designs, so that everyone can go and buy figurines of them. Because that's where a lot of them make their money too, by the way. It's the merch that comes out afterwards, and people don't buy merch of female characters unless the female characters are cute. So every anime has to have cute female characters, but they can't be cute personality-wise. Even though, by the way, a huge portion of attraction to a character is personality-based, but you can't put personality in a figurine outside of pose and expression. So they all have to look like little doll things. And that's it. And it's like, well, if as long as they've gotten that nailed, they know that people are going to buy. And you know what? Throw some implied nudity in there as well, and also suggest that the Blu-ray version, which costs $273, will remove the shower fog that covers the nips. Okay, and congratulations, we have a sustaining anime industry. Okay, congratulations, very nice. I love it. I love this industry. It's amazing. There's a reason why so much anime comes out, and I get to watch exactly like one show per season because the rest of it is corrupted by the horrible shit that people have gotten used to. Where was that? I'm sorry, really quickly. This was one of the top posts in the Men Drawing Women subreddit. Great subreddit, by the way. Now, I want to say, I have nothing against people drawing women as boob monstrosities, okay? Like, good artistic design does not necessarily eliminate the possibility for hypersexualization. I do not think those things are necessarily antithetical, okay? Here we go. This is from the anime Assassin's Pride, okay? Now, I want to be really... I need to be careful about this, okay? Because this image right here is a mimetic virus, okay? Every time I see it, I want to Roblox myself, and there's a possibility that maybe you're going to be subjected to the same feelings, okay? So there's two images in this central image, okay? And on the left, so this is from like a light novel adaptation anime, I think. On the left, you have a high school girl's uniform at Assassin's School. Course. And on the right, you have a redesign, which was done by a human being who does not work in the anime industry. Now, I want you to really appreciate this, okay? I'm not moving the camera away. I really want to talk this up. I really want you to think for a moment about the fact that a human adult, I'm going to guess, man, sat down and thought, how can I design an underage girl's high school uniform in a way that will sell the most figurines afterwards? That's the real design. The one on the left is. The one on the right was made by an actual human being who deserves to exist. Okay? The one on the right is better, though? Yes, the one on the right is the redesign. The one on the left is the one that an anime man made. So you see, okay? The one on the left was done by professionals. The one on the right was done by a normal person. Okay? Now, I'm not going to get into all the ways the uniform is bad, okay? It's bad holistically. It's bad from top to bottom. There's actually no way to escape the ways in which it's bad. Every element of it. It's not actually just the hypersexualization. It's just design-wise really bad. It's just ugly. It's horrible in every way, shape, and form, okay? Truly terrible, okay? But a human being did that and marketed it as well to an anime. How big? Let me see. Let me see if we can find out. Let me see. The anime's name is Assassin's Pride. Thank you. Assassin's Pride. Is it a light novel adaptation? Let's see if we can find it. Yep! It's a light novel adaptation. And it's ranked number 8,888. That's not like special or anything. It's just, it's just funny that it would have that many 8s. Not highly rated, by the way. Anything rated below a 7 on Assassin's Pride is basically like putting out a hit on the director of that anime. Anything below a 7, like it's done. On Mal, what did I say? On Mal? Yeah, on Mal. Did I say Steam? Yeah, on my anime list. Thank you. We were talking about Steam earlier. You said on Assassin's Pride. Well, obviously, also a number lower than that on Assassin's Pride would be bad as well. Anyway, yeah, terrible. I've never even seen this. I never will. But like, there's an industry fed into the existence of that. If I look at Assassin's Pride figurine, let's see. I don't know if it did well enough to warrant the sale of any merch. I say, knowing fully well that there's merch of it. Yeah, of course there is. Look, it's just, there's going to be some porn in there. Thankfully, I have Safe Search on. Did you like AOT in that respect? Attack on Titan gets infinity praise forever for legit, like, never sexualizing any women. That's nice. Honest to God. And by the way, did it stop people from thirsting after Attack on Titan women? No, it did not. Because women can be attractive even if you don't put them in ridiculous, stupid, dumb, fucking sex outfits. It's actually entirely possible, okay? God, where are we even out of the stun lock? What the fuck is the point that I was trying to get to? What was I... Look, I'm not anti-fan service at all, okay? When anime have big boobies, that's totally fine as long as they're overage, because holy fuck, I cannot get over that shit. That's great. That's totally fine, okay? That's totally okay. I'm totally fine with that. And I don't have a problem with having waifus if you really never want to touch grass again, okay? The problem that I have is that, like, holy fucking shit, the entire industry has been built around and has completely normalized the practice of boiling down all artistic production to the point that the only thing people are really deriving from it is the most bare bones, like, gratuitous, horny posting bullshit. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily have a problem with that when we're talking about, like, bottom of the barrel, like, bullshit anime that's quickly adapted from light novels. I do have a problem with it when it infests good anime, okay? So to put it another way, all right? That anime, Assassin's Pride, if you want to be a degen while watching that, there's no other way to watch that. Have fun. But when you then take that attitude, where the only thing worthwhile about an anime is the constant memification of all the sexualized characters and shit, and then you take that and you use it on Evangelion, that shit pisses me off. I don't know what else to say. We're done. Stop. We're done. Just go watch Fumetsu no Anatae, okay? Just watch this shit. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's good, okay? It's about an orb that turns into a dog that turns into an autistic boy, okay? It's perfect, all right? You have to watch it. It's very good. It's also sad, okay? It's very good. I'm not lying. Why the fuck would I want to do that? I don't know. It's good. How do you respond to people who say it's just a drawing? It's just a drawing of what? You mean about the lolly shit? You're not going to uncreepo this shit. I'm sorry. You can't debate bro your way out of that one. Sorry. Sorry, debate lords. States' rights. You know? Is it weird that I don't understand the appeal of anime no matter how hard I try? No, it's fine. Different mediums, whatever, no big. But how did it become normal? I have no fucking idea. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't actually think the amount of sexual abuse of children is greater in Japan than it is in America. I think they're about comparable, but it might feed into, like, broader negative attitudes. One thing that seems to happen a lot more in Japan than in America is, like, groping in trains. Isn't that, like, a whole thing? They've had, like, media things about that. I don't know if they just overplay it over there, but I think that's, like, a real problem. Like girls will go on, like, trains. Aren't there, like, gender segregated cars there, or is that in India? I have no idea. Yeah. Women's only trains. Yeah, exactly. I actually, when I went to Tokyo, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a poster that was in English and Japanese talking about to not grope women on trains, which I guess that's good message. Sure, I agree with that message. You shouldn't grope women on trains, you know? Yeah, nailed that one, you know? 100 out of 100. Only on trains, though. Guess we see your trails. Yeah, the Vaush fans don't want you to know, of course, is that Vaush only doesn't believe in groping women on the trains. Anything else, he's totally fine with. Do you think Japan censoring porn also affects us too? I have no idea. There's probably a fuck ton of, like, super creepy shit in Japan. The thing is, though, I also don't actually trust Japan to report on its own numbers here. Japan is a pretty far-right government, and they're also very conservative when it comes to a lot of sex stuff. I don't know how much I trust their, like, data on stuff that goes on there, you know? Like, yeah, I don't really... Yeah, I don't really know. It could be possible that they underreport, or, hey guys, don't you feel like Japan might be one of those countries where women get shamed for being assaulted, so they don't report it because they're afraid of the social backlash, and police might not be very responsive? That might lead to more trouble than it's worth. Now, I could be totally wrong on that. That feels like that might be a thing there. I'd be comfortable assuming that, unless proven otherwise. Is Japan a democracy? Yeah, Japan's a democracy. I don't know that many specifics about it, but yeah, it's democracy, yeah. Their police already underreport suicides as murders. Christ. It's usually the opposite, you know? Usually lazy police departments report murders as suicides. If the suicide rate is so high in Japan, they're like, oh, this must be a murder when the guy's hanging from a noose. Like, well, that's pretty fucked. Oh god. Japan's been led by the same party for like 60 out of the last 70 years. I don't know much in the way of details over there. I just don't know much in the way of details. So I can't really say, you know? Yeah, Japan's suicide rates are like super, 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 super high. That is one of the arguments that I've heard from like the fucking lolicon types, though. It's like, well, there's no association. Saying there's an association between the prominence of lolicon stuff and actual child abuse is like saying violent video games mean more violence, which I don't agree with. But then they argue that sexual CSM, CSM, that's Chainsaw Man. CSA? CSA was no more common in Japan than America. But I have to wonder, like, can I trust those numbers? Because I know for a fact that here in America, depending on where you are in the country, there's going to be a ton of underreporting on certain types of abuse, you know? We see this all the time. College campuses will discourage like rape victims from going to the police and instead have it handled internally by college campus like officers because they don't want their college to be known what's CSA, child sexual abuse. They don't want their college campus to like be known for like having rapes on it and stuff like that. But I wonder about like Japan. Why does Japan have high suicide rates? Miserable work culture, for the most part. But I wonder, like, maybe Japan has factors that make any of the info we get from it totally unreliable, you know? Another thing is that Japan has a very high conviction rate. If you're arrested in Japan, I think the odds of you going to prison are like 95%. Not like America. Here in America, people get arrested and then get out all the fucking time. All the time. 99%? Yeah, in Japan, if you're arrested, you go to prison. They don't arrest people unless they know you're guilty. Like, the process for arresting people, they don't do it unless they know they're going to win. Whereas in America, like, people get arrested all the fucking time. They get let out of jail after a day. Like, it happens all the time. Now, the Japanese criminal justice system is fucked. Psychological torture, terrible, terrible stuff. Yeah, they force confessions. Yeah, it's like incredibly fucked. Now, here's something that I have to think of, right? A lot of child sexual abuse cases are kind of like a lot of other rape cases, he said, she said, in an environment where people are only arrested if the state knows they can get a confession out of them. Is that an environment where they're likely to go after a lot of child abusers, where things are often really fuzzy, difficult to substantiate, or like reliant on conjecture? My default feeling on that might be no. The state might not be willing to look into that stuff because it doesn't conform to the practices they typically address in their criminal justice system. So it's entirely possible that the situation in Japan with regards to the abuse of children is like infinitely worse than we know it is, but they aren't accurate with it, you know? It's also about like internal investigations. Here in America, our police do suck, but we do have a pretty robust internal like system of journalism, you know? Like there are plenty of journalistic outlets that are constantly looking into like what the police are doing. It's not perfect. I'm not saying it's perfect at all. It's super fucked here, but like we do kind of have like a robust system in here. At least something's happening. Does that exist in Japan? Like, I don't actually know. Hold on. Japanese police system? Law enforcement in Japan. Free of direct central government executive control, they're checked by an independent judiciary and monitored by a free and active press. Oh, well, that's nice. The judicial system of Japan. Which country has the best police? America has the best everything. You fool. The media over there is censored. I've heard that. Vaush, with all due respect, you're talking out of your ass right now. Why? People always say that, but they never say why. Like, when I say something that people agree with, they explain why they think I'm right. But when people disagree with me, their default response is, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, couldn't you just say what you think I'm incorrect about? I mean, I obviously don't know everything about this, but I don't know everything about anything. So, like, what, like, it's kind of like a blanket, a blanket accusation. Safety National Police Agency with their prefectures. Police officers are divided into 9 ranks. Damn, it's just like anime. Historical secret police organizations. Yikers. This seems like it'd be too complicated for me to look into without a lot of research. You know what I mean? This seems like the kind of thing I'd really have to dig into, like hand and teeth to tear apart. My bad, you're literally making assumptions and claiming Japan is guilty until proven innocent by your own admission. You said I feel multiple times. Oh, so you actually have nothing to say about what I'm saying. You actually have no evidence whatsoever that I've said anything wrong. You just don't like the things that I'm saying. Is that correct? Because otherwise you would have pointed out a way in which I was wrong. I think the stuff that I'm saying is fairly informed. The age of consent in Japan isn't actually 13. It's 13 nationwide, but like all the states have it higher, you know? Or all the prefectures have it higher. It's not actually 13. A lot of people say that. It's just not true. Speculating about Japan underreporting CSA with no evidence is weird, dude. It happens here, dude. It happens here in the States. Why does it happen here in the States? Because of the prevalence of certain cultural and political factors. If it happens here with those factors, don't you think it might happen more in a country that has worse elements of those factors? Guys, for instance, one of the big things that leads to it happening here are patriarchal households. Japan has much more patriarchal households than we do, okay? Trust me. Their attitude on family and obedience to parents is significantly more conservative than ours by like magnitudes. So those probably elevate some of the risk potentials, you know, with that sort of thing. Yeah, the treatment of women, the control of women, the shaming of women's sexuality, which can deter women from going to police or reporting what's happened to them. That's worse in Japan than it is in here. So I think that based on my understanding of America and my understanding of some of the things in Japan, I think it's reasonable for me to assume there might be some correlative problems. Okay? Does anyone think that's unfair? We can move on after you answer that one. I feel like that's a fair, reasonable extrapolation. Uh-huh. What do you see? What do you see?